Once upon a time, there lived a miller who had 3 sons. Upon his death, the oldest received the mill, the second oldest the donkey, but the youngest only got the tomcat. He was desperate. "My brothers may get their living easily enough, but as for me, I may soon die of hunger." The cat, who had heard this, said,
"Do not worry, my good master. You have only to give me a bag and a pair of boots, and you shall see that your share is not so bad as you imagine it to be." Once the cat obtained what he had asked for, he pulled on the boots and walked away with the bag. He went to a warren in which there were a great number of rabbits. He put some bran and parsley into his bag and then waited for some innocent rabbit to feast on the dainties. Soon, 2 young rabbits jumped into his bag and Puss in Boots caught them. Puss in Boots hurried to the palace and asked to speak to the king. Bowing low, Puss said, "Sire, here are rabbits from the warren of the Marquis of Carabas,"
the title Puss gave to his master,
"with his compliments."
The king was much pleased. Thus, the cat continued to carry game to the king for a few months. Then one day, Puss in Boots said to his master,
"Follow my advice, and your fortune is made. Go to the river and bathe just where I show you."
The Marquis did exactly as the cat advised, and while he was bathing, the king passed by in his coach with his daughter. Then Puss in Boots began to cry out,
"Help! Help! My Lord Marquis of Carabas is drowning!"
Hearing the cries, the king ordered his attendants to go to the rescue of the Marquis. While they were drawing him from the river, Puss in Boots told His Majesty that thieves had run off with his master's clothes, though in reality, he himself had hidden them under a stone. The king ordered his officers to give a suit to the Marquis. After he was dressed, the king's daughter fell deeply in love with him, and the king asked him to ride in the coach with them. Quite overjoyed, Puss in Boots marched before the coach, giving orders to the workmen he met along the way. As the king came by, he asked some mowers working in a meadow to whom it belonged. "To my Lord Marquis of Carabas," the mowers answered as the cat had instructed them. The king complimented the Marquis. Soon, the coach passed another field where labourers were working industriously, and the king asked to whom it belonged. They all answered, "To my Lord Marquis of Carabas." The king once more complimented the Marquis. At last, Puss in Boots arrived at a stately castle. It belonged to an ogre, the richest ever known, and all the lands through which the king had passed that morning belonged to him. The ogre received Puss in Boots as civilly as an ogre could do.
"I have been told,"
began Puss in Boots,
"that you have the power to change yourself into all sorts of animals, like a rat or a mouse."
"You shall see," replied the ogre. And in an instant he became a mouse and began to scamper about the floor. No sooner had Puss seen the mouse than he sprang upon her and ate her. In the meantime, the king's coach approached the ogre's castle. Puss in Boots hastened out.
"Your Majesty is welcome to the castle of my Lord Marquis of Carabas,"
he said. "And is this splendid castle also yours, my Lord Marquis of Carabas?" inquired the king. "Let us go in, if you please." The Marquis gave his hand to the princess and followed the king inside, where they found a splendid feast which had been prepared by the ogre for some of his friends. The king was so charmed with the good qualities of the Marquis that he said, "It will be your own fault if you do not soon become my son-in-law, my dear Lord Marquis of Carabas." So the princess became the bride of the Marquis, and they lived happily ever after. Puss in Boots was made major domo and became so great a personage that he would not even think of looking at a mouse.